can't lose. No, we can't lose.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Gambling gods, fickle bunch. Oh, yeah. So easily affected.
We have a shooter and a good one coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. He's a rolling point is 9, place 9. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
They bet on absolutely anything. Don't make them prove it.
I finished up. I don't have any total. I mean, the tournament as a whole, I don't have complete numbers on because I just bet so many games.
You're tuned in to Gambling with Good Juju.
Welcome in, everybody. Season 1, Episode 6 of Gambling with Good Juju. Today we have again with us RJ and Kurt. How you guys doing today?
I'm having a lovely evening. How about you, sir?
Oh, boy, I'm having such a good evening. I love basketball.
As he sits there with his Boston Celtics shirt on and the tears almost at his eyes.
Boo, Sixers.
Yeah, boo the Sixers. Real quick, though, did you guys happen to catch James Harden say good juju in the post-game presser after the last game?
He must have been listening.
He must have been listening. Obviously, he was listening. I think so.
We're going to need that audio clip. That's going to go somewhere for something.
Yeah, I'll send it to you because I dug it up after the fact.
That's a good catch. I missed it.
It's like, I don't know, I woke up at like 4 in the morning and it was, you know how they play them all night long?
Yeah.
And he was like talking about Doc Rivers sent him some gospel song to listen to. And he was like, hey guys, put this on in the gym. And it was like 7 minutes long. He's like, I don't know what it was, but it certainly has some good juju in it or something like that.
Was it our podcast he was talking about?
I bet so. I mean, it is about 7 minutes long.
Did we find a new theme song?
Oh my God, I haven't listened to the actual song. Oh,
I bet it's a banger.
quite possibly.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. He said Doc sent it to him. I don't know. It was probably some weird. He said it was gospel, so I don't know. It's our speed.
So we had a big weekend this weekend. We had our first ever Kentucky Derby draft. It was, yeah. He starts laughing before I even get to any of the punchlines there. So we had our first ever draft, and we drafted 21 horses, for those of you in the audience who didn't listen to our last episode. 7-round draft, we each got 7 horses. 2 horses we did not draft. One of those horses was Reincarnate. I have no idea how he did. The other horse was Mage, who won the Kentucky Derby, and somehow we drafted 21 out of 23 horses, and we all lost to nothing.
Okay. So me and Kurt were out here watching and trying to run the numbers on this, right? Like, what do you think of the odds that happens?
Well, you got to factor in the number of horses times the odds of the horses.
Right. So we're talking like 1%, maybe, right?
Unbelievable. I have no idea, but blindly we drafted these horses. We didn't have any odds. We know nothing about horse racing. So it was completely based only on their names and the ones we thought were most appropriate for us to select.
And Pete actually was the first one to get screwed over because like he had the number 1 horse,
Forte,
yeah, who gets scratched. And then the next day I wake up to some messages going, well, Kurt's lost 3 horses, so now I'm down to 4. You guys, RJ has all 7.
No, he lost 1.
Oh, he lost 1. So RJ had 6,
yeah.
You had 6, I had 4.
Yeah, you definitely, I did not think, oh, woe is me. At no point, even when I lost Forte, I looked at the odds boards. Your blind picks were terrible, Kurt. RJ and I split like the top 4 horses. Then the 2 horses that weren't picked at all came in. Then you had 1.
I think I had my closest one was like 25 to 1 or something.
That was your second. You had one that was either 10 to 1 or 12 to 1.
Oh,
yeah. What a silly thing to bet on, though, right?
All right. So I also fell for the FanDuel thing.
Oh, my God.
And gambled.
Of course.
And, of course, I didn't stop at the $20 limit. I did. Hey, audience, I limited myself to 1 unit. So I spread it across a few different wagers. But we all know I only bet on the horses I drafted. So I'm out $50 for this operating budget scam we got going on.
Who brought it up? Who brought it up to us in the garage? It was like, you guys should have just bet on the 2 horses that you didn't draft.
Oh, yeah, that's what somebody goes to Kurt. You should have bet on those 2 horses with your free bets.
Yeah. And yeah, it sounded like a pretty good idea, hindsight.
Right.
Yeah. You should have bet on the winning horse, guys. Juju.
You should have picked the winning horse out of 21 chances.
So wait, did we get a free bet?
Did you bet it as well?
I bet it. Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I think it's in your horse racing account.
That's what I.
Oh,
That's what I told him.
God.
He thought he was going to put it on a first inning, no runs. You
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get to bet somebody's home run.
realize you're going to have to put
No.
that on like Korean horse racing or something in the middle of the night.
I'm definitely putting it on like 100 to 1. Why not?
Yeah, why not? It's free.
So regardless of how it actually netted out for us, that's an extra $50 for koozies and other things we might want to do. So no, it was a great result. I think for all three of us, if we didn't win, that was the result we wanted.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, because now we have a.
Not that you have to stop buying T-shirts, because thank you everyone for buying T-shirts. But I was just saying, now maybe you might get a free koozie when you see us.
Absolutely.
Or a sticker. And a sticker.
And a sticker.
And a sticker.
Anything is possible. Okay, so kind of along these lines real quick, like gut check time. That was really fun, right? And like it makes sense that we do this to like pay for the podcast until we get rich and famous. But just kind of temperature of the room, betting on something that's happening, or do we need to get into like betting on our own performance on something?
I like more action. I love the idea of this being more random and inconsequential. If we were to start doing it based off our performances and sports gambling and stuff, then it gets a little more serious.
I mean, like throwing a football through a tire or something like that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, no. There will be all sorts. The only thing I won't do is pop a shot against you.
Makes sense.
We are with maybe the world champion. He has never been officially claimed, but this man is a pop a shot legend.
Yeah, as soon as Tony Stucker gets that prize money back up for the World Championship, I'll be in Milwaukee.
Awesome.
And we're there.
Oh my gosh. We would be the biggest fan base for two people ever. I understand that sounds weird, but you get what I'm saying. We would be a very vocal fan base for you.
So it would be fun to do something
Right.
ourselves. Yeah, something silly.
So each month we can dictate what it'll be, and we'll center it around one of the episodes, and we'll have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if there's not a sporting event,
Oh, if there's not a sporting event, an entire month.
a big sporting event.
Yeah, I got what you're saying. So like Indy 500 maybe.
We'll
Like,
see.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's a winning idea.
I think we're the coolest dudes in the room.
We are definitely the three coolest guys in this room right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, fun stuff, guys.
You know who's not the coolest guys in the room? All those college athletes and coaches who just got caught gambling.
I agree, because they are, well, nothing's happened yet to them, right?
Well, the Alabama
just like
baseball
a pro.
coach got fired.
He got
And all
fired.
the players involved in the Iowa and Iowa State athletic programs that were involved were immediately suspended from
But
athletics.
most of them graduated already, right? They're gone.
Right. But they
Like
have
80% of them.
there's literal crimes being committed. They might be very seriously in trouble outside of what a college university could do to them.
Crimes because of I don't even know what the allegations are on those guys. Iowa State. They're betting on sports, or they're betting on themselves, or
So the initial information that came out is pretty limited in scope. It highlights who's involved. It does highlight that it's related to sports gambling and that there's a current investigation underway.
gotcha. So we don't really know anything yet.
And if there's more information out there than that, I'm sorry, my research was very limited.
Yeah, we just read a couple tweets, so we're kind of subject matter experts here.
I read an article.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I read
that
an article on
But we
it.
do know what happened in Alabama, right? Is the
Yeah.
guy did something with the starter, his ace.
So the dude, and he told some high school coach he knew in Ohio who just went legal. And the dude bet so much money, was like, oh, that's weird. What's going on here? And realized it was tied to that guy. So he leaked to him that he scratched the pitcher. So that's what happened there.
Gotcha. So he scratched his ace. The other guy bet on the other team, I assume,
Yeah, LSU.
LSU. And LSU won, right?
I don't
think
even
they
think
did.
it matters if LSU won.
I have a question.
yeah.
Do we know if the Alabama coach leaked this information nefariously for the sole purpose of gambling, or if he just was a moron who leaked the information? This guy was like, what
Right.
can I do with
Right.
this?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know that for sure.
Because like he could have been like, "Oh, how's Timmy doing? Oh, he hurt his arm. We're gonna scratch him next start."
Yeah, I haven't told the press this yet, but yeah,
Right.
we're thinking about scratching him.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
sure it's the first one, but I hope it's the second.
Yeah.
I hope he's just some moron.
Yeah.
Who just
Of
happened
course.
to accidentally leak
course.
this, and his buddy's like, yeah, thanks for that tip, you moron.
Oh, yeah. So I did go back and watch the Netflix documentary about the ASU point shaving scandal. Have you guys seen that?
Yes,
Yeah.
Because you brought up like actual crimes, which they put that guy in jail.
they did.
Yeah, I didn't really connect the dots on criminal activity with Iowa State, but that's kind of a wild story, just in general. And here, this whole time I was like clowning on Illinois for not letting us bet on college sports locally, and it's like, oh,
That's why.
Maybe this is why.
Yeah.
So that is the part that makes me so angry. These kids and these coaches are blowing it for us. We are not being irresponsible in how we're handling this, but you have individual bad actors. So examples need to be made so that the crime gets deterred as opposed to the act of the gambling getting deterred.
I'm down with that for sure.
It's just frustrating when you're like, no, this is ridiculous that I'm in the state of Illinois and I have to drive 2 hours. For the record, if he wanted to leak to the guy in Ohio what was going on from a starting pitcher perspective that could lay that much cash, that's not going to stop someone from getting in a car and driving to whatever state they would place that wager on. That's ridiculous.
I agree with that.
But
I mean,
what's going to happen here is we're going to get further into the weeds with it. And ultimately, for these smaller markets where manipulating them is easier to do because the actors within it aren't receiving the same paychecks that the bigger markets are, they could be gone if that happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mean the small, like baseball, college baseball, for
Even college
Right.
basketball.
Yeah.
Right? Even betting on like,
There's a lot of money in that, right?
sure,
But,
betting on like Ohio University or something like that.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of this, having a regulated market is a benefit. If there weren't these regulated markets, there would still be interested actors in manipulating scores in order to profit versus others. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like BetMGM offering that market doesn't change
Right.
whether or not someone would create a scenario to manipulate it.
Right.
I'm struggling here, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
know what I'm saying.
And like ultimately, like I don't know the specifics on the Ohio Alabama thing, but like the bookmakers are the ones that are going to sniff this out the quickest, right?
Right.
Like because they see the weird ass action, and it's like, oh yeah, something funny's going on with this Alabama baseball game.
If
that all of a
anything-
sudden everybody in America is betting on.
Yeah. Or
Right.
a new account. Like a new account. Oh, place a $20,000 wager, right? On LSU
On
money
LSU
line.
baseball.
College baseball money line. Or an account that's been betting $20 for the last 2 years and then all of a sudden throws out a
Right? Who knows? Right?
$5,000 bet.
Right.
They see all that stuff.
So that's what we're left to hope is that
They
the
just-
decision makers
Just pick it up.
who dictate these sorts of laws and things along those lines are actively considering the benefits of these regulated sports books versus looking at the entire act and saying, nope, let's get away
Well, let
with
me
it.
ask you, what do you think is
away
the
from it.
worst case scenario for us?
As a sports gambler, less availability of action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's got nothing. They're not going to get rid of the major markets or anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about, okay, college baseball, that is a bridge too far. We're going to
Sure.
get rid of that.
It's already so very limited, anyways.
Yeah. So like worst case scenario for us is like we don't get to bet on that or like weird soccer stuff or whatever, right?
Sure.
But that would stink.
Moving on then and kind of tying back to what we were talking about with the college baseball market, have you guys been watching more or less or about the same amount of baseball so far this year?
I watch a lot of baseball every day.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, absolutely, every day.
Like during the playoffs of basketball, you're watching baseball.
Well, I got a couple screens.
Okay. I get it. Yeah, right.
So
I
I'm
got
watching
multiple
both.
TVs.
I'm watching both games.
Yeah.
I've been watching baseball over basketball.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I'm really enjoying the baseball season so far. The Cubs are relevant. Shout out
Cubs are
them.
good.
That's neat. Yeah.
The Cardinals are my favorite storyline in baseball, even more than the Cubs. What an atrocious run by them. There are two trends I saw posted on Twitter right now that the Orioles hadn't lost the opening game of a series and the Cardinals hadn't won an opening game of the series. And, well, the Cardinals just beat the Cubs to
Yeah,
kick
I
off the
saw
series
that.
with them, so that's over.
Shout out to my Cardinals under 89.5 wins.
Oh,
Cash it. Also, shout out to my Mets under 95.5 wins. Cash trash it. My second favorite story. I have two other favorite stories, and that's the Yankees being like 8 or 9 games out of first already, and the Mets being 8 games out of first.
Wow.
And both of them were projected 90-plus wins.
Doesn't every team in the AL East have a positive run differential right now?
They're all pretty good. I mean, they're all going to make the playoffs. Can that happen?
No,
No,
they
I didn't
can't
think
all
so.
make the playoffs. But I will say the Yankees in particular are victims when you talk about how far that back they are in the standings of being in the same division as the Rays, who, what an unbelievable franchise. I mean, unbelievable.
So jelly.
Their roster's payroll is non-existent relative to
Sure.
the major market teams, and all they do year after year is go out and say, oh, you don't want these guys? Okay, we'll take them, and we'll win.
They are the greatest 0 championship franchise of all time.
Hot take.
That is a hot take. Wow. I don't have a name to compete with you on there, but I'm
How
going to
can
think
you?
about that one.
They've been to the World Series. They've won 90 games, a ton.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The Rays are always good.
And nobody goes to watch
Nobody
them.
goes to their games. All they do is win. They don't have no superstars. I mean, they have Wando Franco now.
Yeah,
They've
they got some really good young
They've
talent.
got Randy.
And they mix it with
They've
some
got
veterans.
Springs, who's a really good pitcher. McClanahan.
Their development is phenomenal, their developmental program.
Yep.
So overall, baseball rule changes. Positive, net positive.
Absolutely net positive.
I saw a tweet from someone recently regarding a Peoria Chiefs game that went an hour and 49 minutes. It was a 2-1 ball game. And he goes, something about Manfred is loving this right now, but this is way bad for the fan experience. And I was like, what? You wanted another half hour of nothing to make it better?
So
It's a 2-1 game. Get me out of there. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
I
yeah.
saw a cool pitcher's duel. A pitcher's duel should be a short affair.
yeah, wrap it up, right?
Yeah.
2-1, under 2 hours. I love it.
And if it's going to be 2.5, 3 hours, score 20 runs.
How about the stolen bases we're seeing?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I am a fan of literally every single rule change. I have zero complaints. I'm enjoying games. Like I said, I'm watching more baseball than
That's
I've
awesome.
watched in a long time. It helps that the Cubs are relevant again.
Right. That probably has something to do with it. So they are changing the rules down to the minor league level too. Like
They
they're all-
started
They started at the
Yeah.
minor league level.
They started all these rule changes at the minor league level, and once it was proven successful, there they implemented MLB.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
So we talked about the Rays having this tiny payroll and winning all these games, right? And how awesome that is. The flip side of that are the Oakland A's, who have almost the exact same payroll, right? Right around the same ballpark, and they've done absolutely nothing.
I believe I'm the only one out of the three of us who has been to a game in Oakland, correct?
That is correct.
Yes, I can safely say I've never been to an Oakland Athletics game.
So my wife and I are going to every MLB stadium, and we only have 7 left. It's
Oh,
either
wow.
7 or 8. I can't remember. We've been to the majority of them, but we really like visiting the San Francisco area. So we've been to San Francisco a few times just for personal vacations.
Yeah.
And we went to an Oakland A's game as one of our reasons to get another stadium out of the way and visit San Francisco in general. It is so far and away the worst stadium in the league that we kind of go through and we like rank the stadiums and kind of put them in order and everything of our favorites. It's in a tier of its own. There is no state like the next stadiums we probably least enjoyed were the Cell or whatever
The
it
Cell's
is now,
awful, yeah.
the White Sox stadium. I personally didn't enjoy the Reds stadium. I know other people will argue for it.
Sure.
I kind of liked the Rays stadium. It's so different. It's inside. There's no one there, but it's just a completely different experience. And for the record, for all you out there looking for something to eat when you go to one of those games, their fried grouper sandwich is phenomenal. My wife will speak very highly of it. It's one of the best ballpark foods we've ever had. So there are some things going for reasons to visit. Well, Tampa Bay's problem is their stadium's in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to get to. I've been to that one as well. That stinks. The Oakland Stadium situation stinks. There's no fan experience around either one of these ballparks. And as a result, you see there's no one at these games ever for either of them.
Don't they have the guys up in the high row beating the drums? Don't they have those guys?
That's Guardians games.
Is it really? I thought it was
Yeah.
A's too.
Oh, A's. Yes. Upper Deck, when I went, they have it all tarped off now. So there is no
Like a
one sitting in.
WWF thing.
Yeah, there's no one sitting in the upper deck up there. It's all in the lower deck, and it's still not even a fifth of the way full.
Well, it won't be their problem for long.
Oh, man. I know I'm still mad at you about disowning the Cubs or whatever you're doing over there, but I believe you're pretty excited about the most recent news coming out.
Sure.
You want to give us an update?
So they're going to tear down the Tropicana and build a baseball stadium on the Strip.
I don't have particularly personal feelings towards the Tropicana itself. I have other strip casinos gone by that I was preferential to. So that's fine from that perspective. And I think it'll be awesome to get the A's, a glorious team who has personally been my American League team of choice, over to Vegas.
Yeah, it'll be neat. Like, they're going to spend a lot of cash all of a sudden, right?
They're going to have to do something. How much does it cost to build a stadium these days?
I think they're talking about $1.5 billion to build the stadium on the Strip.
And Kurt, I asked you, what's the value of the Oakland A's in total?
1.18 billion.
So they're building a stadium that is more valuable than the team playing in it.
That is correct.
Probably a lot of Adele shows or something going on there during the off games.
I think it's safe to assume that when the A's move to Vegas, there will be substantial investment in the team itself.
Totally, right?
So I looked up where the Tropicana is, and it is right across the street from MGM and Excalibur.
All right. So it's literally, there's going to be a baseball stadium right there with multiple other casinos on the Strip.
That's kind of cool.
That is going to be, I can't wait to go to a Cubs A's game in Vegas. That's going to be phenomenal.
Well, that's the interesting part. Like, so there's going to be so many games, like, it's going to be relatively easier to get tickets, right? Like, you know, I haven't really looked, but I imagine going to a Raiders game is like hella expensive because there's only 8 of them.
Very expensive.
This is going to be the best selling ticket in MLB.
Oh, interesting.
It could
Don't
be.
you think?
Well, yeah, again, like, I'm assuming the casinos are going to have all the tickets.
Yeah.
So in essence, they're all going to be sold
Yeah.
out, right?
I can't wait to see what the mix of fans at these games is.
Yeah. It's like, oh, they're going to
There's
have.
going to be so many out-of-towners there to cheer for their team while they're in Vegas.
Well, maybe. It's going to be like, they're going to have the bottle club DJ situation going on like the Raiders do at a baseball game. It'll be hilarious. Probably like jacuzzi tubs, stuff like that.
That sounds awesome. It sounds like, well, the Rays have that swimming pool out there. They'll probably do something like that, right?
Yeah, except it costs like $40,000 to sit in it.
They're going to keep all the A's branding, right? Because that's a universal name. That's an amazing branding name. That's a perfect team name. There's no reason for them to change that, correct?
Well, yeah, and I mean, that would be bonkers.
Plus, don't they already have a farm team, right? Isn't
The Aviators, yeah.
Is it the Aviators?
I think so. I think the Aviators are in Las Vegas.
I thought it was the 52s or something like that. Was the Las
That's
Vegas?
Reno, I think.
Oh, Reno.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I could be lying, but that sounds like Reno.
We'll fact check it later, too. And cut it out.
This stays in.
So, yeah, I mean, it would be silly to change the name of the franchise. And, I mean, I don't know. They're not selling the team, right?
No.
Right. So the guy that owns the team is moving it.
Right.
So, yeah, I imagine it'll be the same name.
Good. Keep the colors, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to make sure I can still wear my hat.
Does Ricky Henderson have any children, grandchildren, anyone that they could draft? What a star that could be. Let's bring in Ricky Henderson's offspring
I don't think that's going to happen.
to patrol center field.
I do weirdly have a Ricky Henderson starting lineup behind you.
That's not weird at all.
Yeah, that's
I would
not
expect that in this garage.
Right. And there's a lot of weird stuff in here.
So, speaking of Vegas, we are preparing to go to Vegas, and you guys have been really practicing your crap strategy, and I've been considering what I want to do in terms of my crap strategy. So let's start off with a quick informational session on where you guys are and what you can tell the audience when you approach craps table.
Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
You go first because you
Okay.
actually just played
Okay.
a lot.
Okay. I did play a lot. So I played this past weekend, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find the best crap strategy that's going to allow me to play the longest amount of time while I'm in Las Vegas, while soaking up all the comps. That includes drinks as well, because those are going to be flowing when we're in Vegas. So, so
Coffee.
yeah, RJ and Big Stevie have me watching some videos on YouTube, and
Real quick. Shout out Crappy the Craps guy.
Crappy the
Shout
Craps
out,
guy.
Color Up. Shout out Casino Quest. Shout out the other 100 people I've subscribed to that make great videos.
Yeah, we watch a lot of them, but there is one intriguing strategy that caught my attention that RJ showed me in the garage, and it's from Crappy the Craps, right?
Yeah, Crappy the Craps guy.
And it's called "I Dare You to Play This" crap strategy.
For who knows what reason. Like, it makes no sense how he names any of them.
I know. But if you can find the video, "I Dare You to Play This" by Crappy the Craps, it'll blow your mind, and it blew my mind as well. So it's a strategy that I've been experimenting with over the last weekend here.
Right. So every time I show you a new one, I'm like, oh, this is definitely the one, right?
Yeah.
But this is the one,
This
right?
is a good one. So it is a strategy that will make you a pretty decent amount of money on a cold table. It will make you money on an average table, and as I found out over the weekend, it will not lose all your money when you are on an extremely hot table, which is what I found myself over the weekend. And
Before we get into that, can you give me a little more on the strategy you're employing when you approach this table on Sunday so that we know what hot does to you?
exactly. So the strategy is pretty simple. You're going to play the don't pass, which basically means you are betting against the shooter. Right, so any 7 or 11, you lose on the don't pass. When a point is set, you're betting the exact opposite of the pass line. So if a point is set, let's say they set the point of 5, and they roll a 7, so point out 7, you win on the pass line.
Okay.
So after you bet the pass line, and let's say the shooter rolls a 4, the point's a 4, you're going to put your another unit wager on the don't come.
Okay, so you have one wager right now on the don't pass.
We have a unit on the don't pass.
And you put a second wager after the point is set on the don't come.
Correct. On
Why?
the don't come. Because on the next number that he throws, okay, like let's say he throws a 5, that don't come is then going to go to the 5.
Okay.
Okay. And then after that 5 is rolled, okay, before he shoots again, you're going to put another unit on the don't come.
So now you've got a third unit in
A third
play.
unit on the don't come. And the goal is to hopefully get all the numbers correct.
Oh, this is so you.
Yes.
Because you want to bet across the board every time you play.
Yeah. But here's the beauty of this way. Like, you can't lose them all at once.
You can't lose them all at once.
So what happens? So you've got, let's set the stage for the audience.
Okay.
You've bet the don't pass.
Yes.
Then the point gets set.
Yes.
Your second bet is on the don't come. Whatever number they throw, as long as it's not the point or a 7, the chips from the don't come move to that number. So if he rolls a 5, then the chips move to the 5.
Correct. Now, if he rolls an 11, they take that don't come. You lose that.
Only on an 11.
Only on an 11
Or a 7.
or a 7. But the 7
want the
pays
7.
you want
Yeah.
the 7 pays your don't pass. So
Right.
you split it, right?
Right.
So if an 11 comes, they take it. If a 2 or a 3 comes, they pay you on that.
Okay.
Okay?
Pretty neat.
Which is pretty neat. So let's say an 11 comes.
Okay.
Okay? And they take that. You now put 2 units.
Okay.
Okay?
So now you got to double down. You got to keep it going at the same rate, win or lose on that bet.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct.
So you've got 2 units on it. Let's say that happens. You've got something on the 5. You've got the don't pass. You've got 2 units on the don't come. They roll an 8. What do you do?
Those 2 units on the don't come go to the 8.
They both are on the 8.
They're both are on the 8.
Okay.
Now you go back to 1 unit on the don't come.
You keep betting that don't come. Got
You
that.
keep
Every
betting
single
that
time.
every single time.
Okay. So now 2 scenarios happen. You've got it on the 5. You've got it on the 8. He rolls a 4. What happens?
The 4 is the point, correct?
Yes.
Okay. The money on the don't come goes to the 4. Okay, so it now moves to the 4 for the next roll.
So you don't lose when he hits a point there?
I don't. The only thing I lose is my don't pass.
Yes.
My original don't pass.
Okay.
So I lose a unit on that roll.
Do you then place 2 units on the next don't pass
That is correct.
to overcome it?
Yes.
Okay. So
So you
now
just-
we're in that deep, and then he keeps rolling, and you're still collecting bets, and you haven't really lost too much, and what you have lost, you just doubled down on to ensure
Correct.
you're still covering it.
I'm down 1 unit.
And so at that point, you roll, and he sets another point, and you keep piling on with these don't comes being moved to these points, and ultimately he's gonna
crap out.
Crap out with a 7.
Correct.
What happens when he craps out with a 7?
I just got paid.
You just got paid everything. So let's run this scenario down, okay? We had the point that was a 5 and an 8, okay? So we've got a unit on the 5, a unit on the 8. He threw both those numbers, okay?
2 units on the 8 because you had to double
units,
down.
Correct. 2 units on the 8, 1 unit on the 5. Let's say he rolls another 8. Okay? The 20 that was on an 8 gets knocked off. You don't get paid on that. You only get paid on those numbers when they roll a 7.
Okay.
So they take the 20 on the 8. Your 10 on the don't come goes to the 8 now. So now you got 10 on the 8. So what do you do on the don't come? You bet 30 because you lost the 20 off the 8.
Okay.
So you got 2 bets going at all times.
Yep, you got 2. Yep. And you're just adding 10. You're adding a unit every time something gets knocked off.
So eventually that 7 hits. When do you want that 7 to hit?
I mean, you want at least a few numbers hit. You want them to hit a few numbers.
Absolute best case scenario is the guy hits every number once, none of them twice, and then rolls a 7.
And where does this strategy crap out for you on Sunday? So take us through Sunday, the scenario where you didn't profit off of this strategy.
So Sunday was an unbelievable game.
I wish I was there.
One of the hottest tables I've ever seen. Actually, the hottest table I've ever seen in my life. There were...
So tell him what the guy did that was shooting or whatever. What was his net outcome here?
So a guy bought in for $100 to my right. He
Okay.
almost cashed for $4,000 off $100.
Off a one roll or a series of shooters?
A series of shooters, but nobody could miss. Everybody was hot as fish grease.
How long did this go on?
4 hours.
You played for 4 hours on Sunday at the hottest table ever, betting
Yes.
against the table?
Yes.
Oh, man.
And you stayed the whole time?
Yes.
God bless him.
I didn't. They couldn't break me.
So it's the hottest table you've ever been at. The biggest fear in this strategy is being at the hottest table ever. And what was your buy-in and what did you net?
I bought in for $575 and I cashed out for $300.
Okay.
So it's not awesome, but all things considered.
Look, I've lost a lot more money in a way shorter span of time.
Way less than 4 hours.
Yeah. So
It's-
that's totally fine.
It's extremely fun and it gets extremely sweaty.
And now he's Sapphire.
Yeah, and now I'm Sapphire.
How are you treated by the rest of the table?
Fine.
I mean,
Everybody was loving it because everybody was stacking purple chips. Purples are
They
500s.
were probably clowning you.
So yeah, I know the dealers
the
were.
one guy at the table. It's like betting against the trend.
In the name of science.
Right.
So the all tall and small, right, is basically when they hit. Let me explain this for the audience real quick. So all tall and small is a bet where you've got the small, which is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
And then you've got the tall, which is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, bingo.
Okay. And then you've got the all, which is all the numbers.
Right.
Okay. This hit 5 times.
5 times?
5 times.
Yeah. And the all plays 175 to 1,
The
right?
all plays 175 to 1. There were 2 guys at the end of the table who had like $25 on
Jesus.
the all talls and smalls, and they were getting paid out in purples.
Wow. Right.
And I'm just sitting here going,
Well, they're not going to break me. Nah, I appreciate you like sticking to it. Like that's ballsy.
I wanted to see if they could break me.
Yeah, that's great.
Because nobody could. I mean, it was unbelievable.
You just keep chucking money out there, and eventually the 7 happens.
Yes, I was putting. It was unbelievable. Like they just kept hitting number after number after number.
So did the other people at the table understand your strategy or know that you were betting against them even?
No, nobody knew what I was doing. They had no clue. Nobody asked me at all. And it was weird because almost the whole night I was sitting anywhere between even and up $20. Like I just had my stack there. Like I'd get down a little and then I'd make it back and then I'd get down, because you're breaking even pretty much on every roll, even if it's a hot table. So where it gets dicey is if they hit 11s on the don't
then
come.
you lose.
Then you lose.
That kind of stinks. But then you get 2s and 3s.
Yeah.
So
This is not for beginners, though.
Yeah. It's
hold on. I'm going to get to that for them. For you, is this it? Do you think you've landed on your strategy?
I mean, I love it. I mean, so next time when the table is hot, I am not going to play it. I'm going to get off of it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the end of the night, I was just like, man, if I just would have switched, I would have made, who knows, $1,200, $1,400.
So because of that, I started doing some crapsy stuff last night. And so now it's like, well, I'm playing around with it when I set 4 units on the 7, basically, then I just place the 6 and 8.
You guys are nerding out way too much for our audience right now. I'm going to move us on. The thing that I do want to talk about in regards to this is kind of how this strategy fits with what I know to be your general persona. You're the guy who always cheers for the bad guys in the movies.
I am.
Yeah.
Your wrestling figures, you like the bad guys in the wrestling realm.
I do.
And this is Kurt with his strategy at a craps table, betting against the hottest table that's ever existed.
Everyone else at the table. It is a little weird to like play the dark side, right? Like people are weird about it.
They do.
So in the meantime, I've been thinking about what I'm going to do because obviously I understand your strategy, Kurt. I think I could walk up to a table right now and play your strategy. I want no part of my Vegas experience being sitting around at a craps table cheering against everyone else. So,
Well, when you say it like that,
I totally understand that.
Right.
But here's the thing: you're not cheering against everybody else.
I don't want to hear it.
You're not.
I don't want to hear it. You're cheering for
You're
sevens.
rooting. No, you're not. You're rooting for people to hit point. Your numbers.
Until you get them to crap out.
right,
You can spin this however you want.
right.
Okay.
I know I want to see a hot table create wealth for myself.
Right, of course.
So
what's your strategy?
I've somewhat adopted the Stevie on a date night strategy.
Oh, this will be good.
We had gone, to the boat a few times here and there. And he told me one time, here's what you do to create a good, fun time without having to think about it too much. You take 1 unit, you place it on the or on the pass line. Sorry. You place it on the pass line. You take 1 unit, you place it on the field. The field hits, you've got 2 units. You take those units, you sprinkle the extra couple bucks you got to, and you put them on the 6 and the 8 when the point gets set. So you've got the point, you got the 6, you got the 8. And then you start letting it roll in, and then based on how hot the roll is, maybe you sprinkle a little more here, a little more there, and you have a really good time without having too much pressure behind it. And it's easy to do. And the other part of it, it's not a long-term strategy. I know, audience, betting the field is a dumb bet. I do know that. But my plan is to walk into every table and quick hit that sucker.
Oh, baby.
I'm just going to hit
Smash
that
and grab.
table, run up the personality angle, bet on it, laugh, have some fun. I'm doing this, pretend I'm really dumb, but I kind of know what I'm doing, do that bit. Hit it for like a half hour and I'm out. Your 4-hour session is not going to work for me in Vegas.
Yeah.
You want to hit a bunch of different bunch of different casinos in theirs.
Yeah.
I really think let's get in, do a few shooters. If it's fun and we want to stick around, great. If not, let's move on. Mm-hmm. And so even if you guys are sticking out your time at the table, boom, I'm hitting it and I'm quitting it.
Okay.
Well, we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, me and Kurt are like trying to break the math,
Here we are.
which is not possible, but it's fun to think about.
Well, that's the thing. Kurt was like, I don't understand how I lost on Sunday. And I'm like, you are playing a game where you have no advantage no matter how hard you try to break it down one way or another.
It's really rigged.
So I don't really care what my strategy is on craps. It's not going to be a make or break for me. I do plan. I've already thought through my strategy on sports wagers. I think I'm either going to go 5 units on every single bet I make. So
Wow.
it won't be coming out of my official bankroll.
You're just going to be betting 1 game a day, right?
Right. One thing at a time, but a substantial investment in it. So I hope that's where my performance
I'm
comes
going to
from.
try to con the whatever sports book we go to give me the boost.
Can I get a risk-free parlay coupon?
You guys ain't got any of them 33% SGPs?
You have points, right?
Oh
so
my
you're
God.
going to be able to stay
great.
for free, you said?
Yeah. So I was logging onto my account for Boyd Casino.
Shout out
and
Boyd's.
Shout out Boyd's. And I look at my tier points, and I don't know how I got them, but
I think I do.
4-hour sessions where you're playing $500 a shooter.
Right.
I'm I'm
Oh,
a
that's great.
Sapphire guy.
Yeah.
So I looked at when I'm going to be out in Vegas, and Sam's Town and says, "Why don't you come here and hang out?"
Shout out Sam's Town.
And I'm like, "Well, is it free?" Yeah, of course.
Of course, just play craps for 8 hours and do that weird thing where you don't think you could lose. We'd really appreciate it.
And I said, "Okay, Sam,
Okay, so I'll be there.
yeah, lay out the red carpet."
Right. Certainly getting. Yeah, I appreciate the fact you're like into the comp thing now and like trying to figure that out.
That's the only way to do it, right?
Right, I
Next
mean-
is a Caesar's credit card.
I applied today.
What day are you getting into Vegas, Kurt?
The 1st, August 1st, which is a Tuesday.
Tuesday. So
Yeah.
a couple days before me.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fun stuff. So we're gonna enter a football contest while we're there. Just throw this on the table.
Yeah.
Like we should do that, right? Like, are we gonna split one or?
I thought we were going to do 2 of them, right? Survivor and the...
So start thinking about that.
I have openly said this. If we do this pool, I will contribute the money and I will leave the decision making to the person who's done it.
Okay.
It's his call. My money goes behind his picks.
Money plays. All right. So speaking of that, I think we should try to interview a proxy on the podcast.
Oh my goodness.
I think that'd be a good idea to like figure it out for ourselves, and like it's probably worth a recording of a conversation so we understand how this actually is going to work.
It's a good idea.
That is a great idea.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll maybe reach out to a couple, but
Are
so, yeah.
they on LinkedIn?
They are. I've probably added them.
All right.
So yeah, I definitely want to do that. I think it'll be fun to enter one of the big boy contests.
What's the stake in this?
Good juju.
Well, we
Some
don't
units, right? IRS. All right, so I have a goal for when we get to Vegas.
What's that?
I have a mission other than hitting every casino downtown and playing $1 worth of craps and keeping the chip. I have to win enough or lose enough to go back and stay in November.
What are you going back in November for? Or what do you want to go back in November for?
BravoCon?
BravoCon.
Yeah, I'm into the Vanderpump Rules. I'm excited to go.
It's hilarious that you say this because I'm going in October again. I haven't been in years, and I'm going in the span of, August and October.
That's
twice.
awesome.
I'm excited. I'm going to go with my wife in October, and we're
Yeah.
going to go to the When We Were Young music festival and pretend we like ska music. We're there for bands we do like. There's a mix of bands
The
and
Green
some
Day
of them.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Green Day, Blink-182, Rise Against, All Time Low. There's some cool
Yeah,
bands
neat.
in there. But I'm hoping to stay at Circa.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, I want to try it out. They all look like nice rooms. It seems to cater to a adult couple type scenario.
Sure. I probably won't I won't gamble enough at Circa to be like, hey, Circa, how about I get that free room?
I don't
But-
even have a loyalty card here at the Paradise. Don't bank on me getting enough points, babe.
Oh, that's like that's like Casino 101, man. You got to get the card.
Where is BravoCon at Caesars?
Yeah. It's not at Caesars, but it's at a Caesars property.
Okay.
And that's half of them.
Right.
So
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us today. It was a weird one. We'll talk soon. Bye.
bye.